Faith gets many of us through difficult times. Here with ways to turn fear into faith is beauty, wellness, and self-confidence coach Michelle Phillips.
Michelle, welcome back to Bloom.
Thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here with you both.
Yes, yes, yes. Michelle, it's so funny, you know, fear brings up a million what-if questions,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not strong enough? What if
Right.
I'm not fast enough? What if I'm not connected enough, right?
Exactly.
So when those what-ifs come in, how do we combat those what-ifs so we can get into execution and live our dreams?
It's such a good question because it's one of the first things I do when I'm working with my clients because I'm helping them go through challenges or maybe wanting to achieve a new goal or start a new business, whatever it is, and they're in action and then boom, they hit a wall.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Yeah.
They think I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. All of these things. So it's like, what if I fail? What if I'm not good enough?
Right.
What will other people think is a big one because they're making changes that are very uncomfortable for them. And of course, we always get everybody else's opinions piled on.
Right.
And so what I do is I have them write down those what ifs.
Yeah.
So that way they can take a look at it because I know you know that when you write things down, it really gives you clarity as opposed to letting it swirl around in our head and get bigger. So it's like, what if I fail? Well, what if you succeed?
That's right.
What will your life look like?
Right.
And that is really turning that fear into faith is about taking fear, which I call false evidence appearing real. I used to work with Dr. Wayne Dyer and travel with him and speaking, and he would always say that, and I thought that is so important to think about because fear is based on that unknown. It's a lot of what we're fearful of, it doesn't even exist. So when we take a look at it and we say, okay, wait a second, maybe my fears really aren't what they appear to be. Let me see what would happen if I actually took action and it wasn't as bad as I thought. And so that's really the faith, is learning how to trust in yourself and knowing that you're capable and you are enough. And so those are the different things I teach to really help people take a look at it.
Now, I know you work with men and women alike, but you say women particularly really get stuck in this fear-based mentality. Why do you think that is? I mean, I'm guilty of it myself.
Right. I think, as women, we're raised to be the good girl, don't make waves. We're raised to take care of everybody else but and put ourselves on the back burner. And that's now changing, but my mother and her mother were like that. So that was a little bit, put on us. Whereas men typically have been raised to take more risks, to, take that chance and make things happen. So it's really about unprogramming ourselves to go towards the negative, which our brains really are wired to go towards what could happen that's bad as opposed to what's good that could happen. So it's really about flipping that around. But I think it's evolving for women, but we're getting there.
Got a lot of work to do.
Exactly, right? So Michelle, how do we do that? How do we actually make the shift to get out of being stuck by how fear paralyzes us? What are one or two things that people can do to get into instant action when they feel paralyzed by their fears?
Yeah, I encourage people to write down something that you faced that you just felt like there's no way I'm going to get through this. Whether it be a project at work or a new business.
A previous experience,
or maybe it was a health challenge or a divorce or something difficult, but you got through it and you came through even better than you were before. And 9 times out of 10, that's what happens, but we forget what we've been through and what we've achieved. And so from there, I say, okay, write down what talents and strengths did you need to achieve that? What were the resources you drew upon to make that happen? And where was your support system? Who could you rely on to support you? Because a lot of us are afraid to ask for help, but it's so key in having that support system to be successable in anything in life. I always say, Oprah Winfrey always says it takes a village, right, to do anything. And so when you see oh gosh, these were the talents and the strengths and the resources and the support that I had to make it through, I'm actually capable. I can draw on those same things to get through the next thing. It's like when you write a resume and you look back and go, wow, I've actually achieved a lot in life. It's kind of taking inventory.
It's true.
And so for me, I really feel like all my job is to remind my clients how amazing they are and that they're capable of anything. We just sometimes need somebody to get us out of our heads and really listen to your heart and follow what's right for you and not everybody else. And typically people come knocking on your door going, how did you get through that? Because now I need to do that too.
It's It's true. And I think to not stay overwhelmed, one thing that you're a big proponent of is just taking baby steps. You don't have to figure it all out at one time.
Absolutely. I think the number one thing that people do is they put together this big plan and then they feel like they are never going to achieve it because it just seems overwhelming. So I always say, back it up, baby steps, one day at a time.
That's right.
You will make the change. You've just got to be patient and live in that moment. Don't live in the past, because living in the past just brings that past forward, and then you repeat it over and over again. So it's really important that we take the small steps for big victories, and it happens. It's just, there's so many people I've worked with that stories that they didn't think they could make it through, and now they're just thriving. Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here.
We're going to share this story on BloomTampaBay.com.
And when we come back, there's going to be a whole lot more Bloom left, so stay tuned.